Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 4 in an amazing series right now between FXO mOOnGlade and Squirtle. This is part of the IEM best of 5. I'm not sure what round this is. mOOnGlade spawning as the blue Zerg at the 7 o'clock position here on Lost Temple, not Shattered Temple. Meanwhile, we have Squirtle spawning as the red Protoss at the 1 o'clock position. This will be cross spawn here on Lost Temple, and I'm really interested to see in particular how this game works out. And a lot of the games have been going back and forth. Squirtle now down over here with a gateway, with a pylon, and now making its way out. And now that I think about it, I'm not even sure if this is a best of 5 series. This possibly could be a best of, is it also possible to be a best of 7? It could be a best of 7. Anyways, a probe now making its way out. Gonna walk up this ramp and we'll see what's going to be happening in just a moment. Takes a quick look into this location here. Pretty much sees that there is no creep and then moves along its merry way, being very careful to not be spotted by that overlord. Probe now making its way out. Should be able to activate this Naga Watchtower. It doesn't look like it's going to. Walk up this ramp and now spot that it is in fact going to be a cross spawn. Gateway now being warped in here, followed by a cybernetics core, most likely an assimilator should be warped in momentarily. And this game is now underway. Spawning pool now being created in addition to an extractor as well. In comes the probe trying to get some damage in, sees pretty much what it wants to see, an early spawning pool followed by an extractor, and now will return home to tell his friends. The probe now coming back over here, making sure that there isn't a hatchery, and that probe making its way back over into this location, just patrolling between these two locations. Glade going for a spawning pool first, obviously wanting to get an earlier queen, as that's what it normally means, as it does delay your metabolic boostlings just a little bit. So we should see a queen now being trained up there, overlord already up, perhaps training up some zerglings as well, and then as soon as he has 100 gas, which will be in about another 30 seconds or so, he will be able to start that metabolic boost. Zergling still probe still wandering back and forth between these two locations. A drone now making its way over, and now a Zergling is trying to catch up to that one probe. The probe doesn't have enough minerals for a pylon to block this location, and now Glade's drone will be able to grow up and be a hatchery. So that one probe now on its way out. It does look like it is going to take or suffer a little bit of damage as those Zerglings are trying to hop, skip, and jump to catch up to that probe. The probe, however, now regenerating some of those shields, taking 5 damage. Now we'll be able to continue to regenerate. No, going to the Naga Watchtower. Don't stay there, Peppy, as he now wanders back around and now going to continue to do more scouting. Back here, we now have 1 Zealot and now 1 Sentry currently being trained. Pretty standard maneuver by Protoss players. This one probe now going to make sure that this hatchery is currently still being built. He doesn't want to have a hatchery cancellation, and he just wants to keep tabs on what his opponent is doing. Probe finally suffered some actual real damage, but I think the probe should be able to get back up to 5 shields or 7 shields before it takes another hit from that Zergling. Oh, up to 10, 12, 6. There we go. So 12 shields and then taking another point of damage there. 1 pylon here, a Sentry and a Zealot already in position. Did the Zealot get a kill? No, where is that other Zergling then? I'm not sure. I don't see where that Zergling went. Perhaps the Sentry got it? Nope. Not sure who got the kill. So there is now currently 1 overlord here. The Zergling back over here by the Naga Watchtower, hiding behind it. A little bit difficult to see. There you go. If you want to see Zerglings hiding behind towers. Sentries and Zealot just holding that ramp in position right now. And we also have 2 additional gateways, so double gateways, and now also perhaps going into an expansion. So Squirtle 3 gate into an expansion in order to not fall behind in the economic game. So waiting for that expansion. There we go. There's Peppy. Peppy setting up the expansion a little bit later than normal at the 6-minute mark, when I guess most normal or early fast expansions are about the 5-minute mark. And that probe now just hanging around over here, perhaps going to warp in another pylon, making it more difficult for Zerglings to be able to run up and around that corner there, and allowing for force fields to be able to block this location here. Now, back in the base of Glade, Glade is getting a spine crawler, and I'm not sure if Glade knows. No, Glade does know about that Nexus. He does have an overlord hiding out right there, and that overlord has to be visible to Squirtle. Does he see it? Oh no, he doesn't see that overlord right now. I don't know how an Overlord can actually hide its shadow, but it in fact can. On this map. So back over here, a probe continuing to wander around, and probe just wandering around back over here. Sentries and zealots are on the move, and this is always a very dangerous army coming in from the Protoss player. You can see that by the looks of it, it doesn't look like a very large army. Only 550 minerals, but that's a 700 gas army. So that is 7 sentries and 2 zealots. So those sentries will be able to deal a lot of damage. And now Squirtle, setting up a proxy pylon here, will be able to warp in units along this low ground in order to push out, I believe, a mOOnGlade. How come I can't see that little line underneath to see where exactly the line of sight is? And that must have recently been changed. Stalkers and zealots and sentries now on the move, and that poor Zergling able to just return home and pretty much see what it doesn't want to see, a very large army of sentries, stalkers, and zealots as these units are now moving out. Stalkers now perhaps trying to get some damage over here, and no Guardian Shield, and with one Spine Crawler, that Spine Crawler going to be able to absorb some damage. There are still a lot of Zerglings over here. Stalkers now trying to walk by this Xel'Naga Watchtower. It looks as though Squirtle doesn't want to commit to a 4-gate or a 3-gate push, and now in full retreat. So Squirtle now sitting on 33 probes compared to 38 drones. Production-wise, still training up more probes, as mOOnGlade needs to invest more into an army. Otherwise, he would not be able to engage back. And oh, there's a Zergling there. However, the force field not in the right position, only able to get 1 kill. Tunneling Claws has now been researched. Burrow has already been researched, so there you go. The Queen able to burrow, and in addition to those roaches, and those roaches may be able to sneak by. I don't see a photon cannon yet. A forge now being warped in, and now a new expansion trying to be cleared by Squirtle. So Squirtle looking to try to clear that out. 1 zealot. Oh, and those roaches, acting in complete surprise, will be able to snipe down that zealot. So the zealot now coming in over here. What's going to happen as those roaches now pop up and now dealing damage over there? They're picking off many of those units. Down goes another sentry, more force fields. The roaches, however, can burrow underneath force fields. Are they going to try to burrow? Yes, burrowing underneath. And now with no photon cannons, an observer desperately trying to be trained now going to pop back up in just a second. There we go. How's it being spotted? Zergling's now trying to swarm in. Roaches already underneath there and now popping up, moving around those units. Both sides battling it out. Roaches and Stalkers attacking back and forth. And there's the GG. So wow, Squirtle losing this game here on Lost Temple. And I'm desperately trying to remember who won the game last game. It was, in fact, mOOnGlade. Okay, so mOOnGlade won. No, wait. mOOnGlade lost. So Squirtle won. All right, so it is now tied 2-2. And now we are going to Game 5 in a best-of-5 series. Burrowed roaches without the movement speed upgrade, the deciding factor in this battle, as a lot of Protoss players don't get early detection, don't get early detection against Zerg. A lot of Protoss players normally get an observer, as many Protoss players know about Banshee harassment, but I've never seen a roach push at the 10-minute mark or 9-minute mark with Tunneling Claws and be able to just burrow underneath those force fields and deal as much damage as they did. So the series is now tied 2-2. Stay tuned for Game 5 in this best-of-5 series. What every StarCraft player wants to see, or StarCraft viewer wants to see, everything on the line, and it will be on Scrap Station. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.